Are the women in Legend of Korra written well? I was real nervous to do this, but welcome to another segment of And They Write Women. Segment where we analyze and dissect media that includes women and determine whether or not they're written well. I already knew before I even finished the intro that there are a bunch of men hitting up that keyboard talking about how terribly written Korra is. I would argue that Korra being written so well and having so much power within this universe is the reason why so many men do not like her. I don't get it twisted. This show is not perfect, and there are definitely storylines that need a little bit of work. But in terms of the development of women in this show, it's done just as tastefully as Atlas. Korra is a child prodigy and an avatar. And even though she's had access to training her entire life, she's been sheltered for most of that. And we see that throughout her entire character arc. Because she was a prodigy, she is arrogant, hot-headed, quick to run into danger, offensive fighter. But because she's been sheltered all her life, she is awkward, abrasive. And at the end of her story, after being abused by a family member, stripped of her powers, forced to reconnect with her spirituality and goals overall, you see a softer Korra, one that could bag a badass bitch. The character development of women does not just stop at Korra. You see a continuation of the Atlas story with our girl Toph and her relationship with her daughters. I get people who critique Toph becoming a cop, but the decision to make her a terrible mom seems so in character for her. That impact on her daughters and their actions fleshed out so well. It's very rare that mommy complexes are explored in women characters. I'm talking about in a negative effect, not in a my mom is dead type of way. These two characters are explored so well. Nora, a girl who is under the crippling pressure of having to restart her people, goes through this incredible arc of her connecting with her spirituality, choosing her own path, standing up to her family. The list goes on. Our girl Kuvira, I always forget, I'm sorry y'all, one of my favorite fascists in this story. Only do we see the seeds of her arc in season 3. She spends most of the beginning of season 4 showing us that she's that girl. One of the first scenes in the premiere is her taking on like 5 benders and then just going back in the train and kissing her man. Not only is she a good fighter, but we see vulnerability in her. The story is sure to let us understand how did this woman come into power. She's also an incredibly effective leader without having to give up any of her femininity. Kuvira is drawn to be very beautiful. She has a little beauty mole. She got her man. Everyone knows she's pretty and they still respect. If we go and keep it a buck, I feel like the men are not written as well in this show. I've never seen a fall off the way I have with Mako. And honestly, even characters like Boomy don't really get the room to breathe the way that their female counterparts do. And honestly, I didn't care. I understand why men be so misogynistic when we ask for things, because I'm here for the girls. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and give Legend of Korra 5 out of 5 Frankie Flowers. Like I said, the story isn't perfect, but the way that they wrote women,